Hallo Kinder in German 1, Deutsch I. We're going to get a little more into the chapter today, one part of it at least. And that is, I'll get the page number for you just in 1 second, but it is about verbs. Now, the verbs that we're going to talk about are already, many of them are already in your Vokabelliste for Freitag. So you've already seen some of these verbs. Hopefully you've looked at the vocab list by now. Please don't forget the quiz on Friday. I'm putting the link in the Google Doc for today. So please go through those. That'd be really helpful and would give you a good idea that will help you with this short assignment today that you're going to do after you watch this video. I'm going to try again to share my screen with you, and I haven't had the best of luck with it, but I'm going to try to do it again and just show you in the book what we're talking about, just very briefly. And this will be a short video, and then we'll get on with, I'll let you get on with the assignment today. So let me try to do this. Okay, it's moving me over. How about a little bit more? Yeah, that'll be better for you to see. And okay, hopefully the camera stays on, and we'll see. If I lose you, then I'll have to pick it up again, and we'll try it on a second video. All right, here we go. Doesn't really like this very much whenever I do this, but here we go anyway. All right. Looks like it's hanging on. Okay. So here we are. We're on page 158, 158, separable and inseparable prefix verbs. And the inseparable prefix verbs, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on. I'd like for you to know what they are. There are two lists right here. There's a little bit longer list and a shorter list. These verbs are, and I know you don't know what this is yet, but these are separable prefix verbs, and these are verbs that have inseparable prefixes. So if you look at let's look at the inseparable ones. That means they don't come apart. The prefix stays where it is. You'll see the prefix like BE or ER or VER, or this one is über, or this one is wieder. So behind that, after the BE, the ER, the VER, you're going to find a regular verb like stellen, suchen, zahlen. There's one out here, kaufen, legen, holen. What's in front of it is the prefix, but the prefix stays with the verb no matter what. And so in a lot of ways, it's just kind of a verb that we might already know, like kaufen, with a few letters tacked on the beginning. But you treat kaufen the same way that you would as you're going to treat verkaufen. So there's not a whole lot to say about that other than just to recognize that that verb is the prefix, the BE, the ER, the VER. Those are inseparable. Over here, though, this is where the little more complicated, but not that complicated part is. These also, if I look below, I see fangen. After the prefix of an, I see kommen. After the prefix of an, I see rufen, stehen, gehen. There's another kaufen, schlafen, bringen, kommen, bereiten, stellen, schauen, kommen again. And those have these prefixes an, auf, aus, ein, a couple of ein, mit, for, two fours, and zu. There could be others, but these are separable prefixes. And what that means is that you just work with the verb, the main verb, fangen, kommen, rufen, stehen. I'll skip down, kommen, stellen, skipping down, kommen again, schauen. And you take the prefix for, mit, ein, auf, an, zu, whatever it is, and you push it to the end of the sentence. It's the last thing in the sentence. So here is a good example over here on the right. It says, ich kaufe im Supermarkt ein. Ich kaufe, so you just take the verb kaufen, to buy, but by adding ein to the verb, we look over here in the list, einkaufen is the verb to shop. Now, kaufen means to buy, so it's related to shopping, right? But einkaufen, kaufen, to buy, einkaufen is to shop. So if you say, ich kaufe im Supermarkt, I'm buying in the supermarket, okay? But ich kaufe im Supermarkt ein, and the reason it's boldface is because that's the prefix of the verb einkaufen taken to the end, einkaufen. Good. And so all of these mean the same thing. So we look at some other examples here. Heute Abend gehen wir zusammen aus. Well, tonight we're going together. Gehen wir zusammen, that would work fine. But gehen aus, ausgehen, is to go out. So this evening we're going out together. Stefan, this verb aufstehen is to get up in the morning. Stefan steht jeden Morgen 6 Uhr auf. So we have this words too. I'm going out. I'm getting up at 6 a.m. So we actually have another word, but they take that word that and they push it to the end of the sentence. So ausgehen, that's going to be separated. Aufstehen, it's going to be separated. Auf's going to go to the end of the phrase. Okay, I don't know if I think there might be other things here. Let's see what it says. Anything more? Just some more exercises. Wir kaufen auf dem Markt ein. Here's in a command form. Stellen Sie die Frau vor. Introduce the woman. Question. Zurückkommen, to come back. Kommst du zurück? Again, we have the same thing in English. We don't say, are you coming? If we want to say, are you coming back? The verb to call, like on the phone, is anrufen. So here's a command. Ruf deine Eltern an. Call your parents. It's not always a good equivalent in English. Maybe call up your parents. I'm not sure, but ruf deine Eltern an is the way we say this in German. But the verb was anrufen. All right. The ones that I want you to deal with, though, today are all in that list over here. I'm going to go back to 158. And it's this list right here. So if it's unclear in the directions, you're seeing it here. This list that I'm circling over here on the left, verbs with separable prefixes. And my assignment for you is to choose 10 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's many more than 10, maybe 12 or 13 verbs. And make an original sentence. Don't copy any sentences. Don't keep writing the same sentence over again with the same person, with the same pronoun. Don't do that. Mix it up a little bit. Different pronouns, different subjects, different things going on. That a verb will take care of that. And you're going to write 10 original sentences. And they're going to be original to you and original from each other, from the 10. They're going to be unique. And you're going to push, but at the last thing before the period in the sentence should be that prefix an, auf, aus, ein, mit, for, or zu, or in that last one actually, zurück, zurückkommen. Okay, so 10 sentences with those. Again, this is a pretty important part of German. These are really common verbs. I know you've seen more of them than those many. There may be, I'm sure there's more in the vocabulary list. I'm guessing so. The other part of this chapter deals with adverbs, which are really very simple in German. So we shouldn't have a hard time getting this chapter wrapped up. I know in a couple of weeks in time for the end of the year test, the final, whatever we're going to call it now. Okay, so go through this. Please read through what I just read. Don't read about the inseparable. We're not dealing with that right now. The inseparable is easy enough as it is. We're just going to worry about the separable prefixes right down here. And don't copy these sentences off the book. Make up your, like I said, all original. I've read the book. I know what's there. Read what it says down here. Okay, the separable prefixes are generally prepositions like on, like, not the only ones, but on, aus, mit. Could be other parts of speech that carry a meaning, and they can stand on their own. But they're hooked up together with a verb like mit means with, and kommen means to come. We know that verb. Mitkommen with come. So to come with, mitkommen. That one actually makes sense. They don't all make sense. When we're reading a story in German literature, einschlafen. So schlafen is to sleep, but einschlafen is to fall asleep, and that word comes up in the book that we're reading there. So we say, oh, ich schlafe heute Abend ein. I'm falling asleep. Ich schlafe jetzt ein. I'm falling asleep now. Ich schlafe ein. But if you say, ich schlafe, I'm sleeping, well, that's not a sentence you get to say very often, is it? But so wir schlafen, or they're sleeping, sie schlafen, but they're falling asleep. Sie schlafen ein. Ich schlafe ein. Wir schlafen ein. Different than we're sleeping. Just that prefix changes the meaning of the verb. I'll give you one more example. Stehen is to stand. Right here, aufstehen. But stehen means to stand. Aufstehen means to get up, especially in the morning, like getting out of bed. Get up. It's different. Wake up and get up are two different things, right? A lot of people wake up and they just lay there in bed for a while. But aufstehen is to get up. So it makes a little, maybe to stand up. It makes sense, I guess. Ankommen, well, kommen is to come. An has to do with something arriving somewhere, so that makes sense. Ankommen, good. Some of them don't make as much sense, but anyway, the prefix goes to the end. The last thing in front of all your 10 sentences, the last thing should be the prefix an, aus, auf, ein, mit, for, zu, or zurück. Okay, so let me see if I can do this without messing up the camera. I see it's still going. I hope it's still working. I'm going to blank that out, and I should be back now. Yay, all right. So that's the assignment, and that's the explanation of it, and I think you'll have no problem finding 10 original sentences that you're going to make up. I put this in the Google Doc, but please take a look at the Google Doc because it has some more information, and it also has a link to the vocabulary quiz Quizlet for Freitag. But please, if I see that you've used Google Translate, I'm just going to probably count off completely on that, okay? That's really cheating to do that, and I can tell 99% of the time if you use Google Translate because there's words in there that you don't know, words I know that you haven't learned. If you want to use the dictionary resources, online dictionary resources to look up a word, that's fine, but I can tell if you've used Translate because most of the times it's not right. It gives you a different meaning or something. Just don't do that, all right? Just make the sentences. They're pretty simple sentences. But make them all original, mix it up completely, each one different. Okay, Kinder, auf Wiedersehen. Morgen ist whatever Mittwoch, huh? Whatever Mittwoch. All right. Und dann am Donnerstag sehen wir uns. Okay? Tschüss, ciao, auf Wiedersehen. Geh nach Hause. Bleib nicht hier. Auf Wiedersehen. Tschö, ciao. Geh weg.